what's up? This your boy Monty G from the Fan Mission Podcast. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get all access to motivated and inspiring videos on this Fan Mission Friday. Every Friday. Let's get to the podcast. Yeah, what's up? This your boy Monty G, man. Happy Friday, man. We finna turn up. So, hey, look, get your popcorn and peanuts, man. It's going down today. So I got a special guest. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in the party. You know how we do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him go ahead and introduce himself. Man, go ahead and tell the people your name, what you do, and where you from.
Okay, AR Bell, aka Mr. Morning Espresso. I'm from Chicago, by way of everywhere internationally. I'm a humanitarian, philanthropist, a teacher, educator, light bearer, and we about to get into it, man. It's all about it. It's all a brother, you know, a father, an uncle, a friend, you know, all of that. All of that, man. All that rah, you know. I don't do it, man, for the monetary. I do it because it's the purpose. So I'm gonna show you. We about to separate some things, you know. We're gonna talk about some things, but before that, I want to also once again thank you and your team and your family and everybody out there that's supporting you and me for supporting us, and hopefully that the Creator continues to favor you and your families and your loved ones. And always use humility as your foundation and speak and act through love. With that being said, brother, the topic that I want to talk about with you is accountability. Okay, so I want to talk about accountability. Not only accountability in the Black community, because I am melanated. I want to say that. I don't want to say Black. Black means dead in the color of law. But for preferences, because I don't want to be bougie to my people. I don't want to do the I'm on a soapbox in the cage with you thing. I want to open the cage with you. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna knock out all the politically correct things. We're gonna come correct. We're gonna be respectful. But I'm here to more get down to the point, not to coach emotions and things like that. But I want it all to be said and be known that this is out of love. So this is Big Brother tapping in, and we're going to get to it, right? So accountability in the Black community, accountability in men and women, accountability in other races, not only in other races, but other countries. Basically, accountability with the world, which is an important topic that I want to talk about, because where we are today with the world being what we call upside down, right? What I mean by upside down is so much evil things, so the balance is off, right? That's your yin and yang, your black and white, and I'll put that in a different perspective later on. But I want to say this one thing before I even get into it and open up everybody's mind is this. A lot of people say that we are creatures of habit. That is wrong, right? We are creatures of experience, right? We build habits depending on those experiences, right? So first of all, we got to understand a little bit where our mindset is kind of like turned upside down. So I'm gonna kind of turn it right side up, right? So we're gonna pay some examples. I'm gonna shoot some names, but it's all, like I said, it's out of love. I don't want nobody to think this is something for some clout. I don't do that. Like I say, it's nothing. I don't do anything for monetary value, anything like that. This is to teach my brothers and sisters, right? The purpose to save your soul, right? Reason that you're here. Everybody is here. They have their own specific purpose, and all that own individual purposes equal up to one, right? And that one is that you are indigenous on a place that's unbalanced, and through all this unbalanced evilness and satanic and nasty things that's here, love, the love of the Creator can still shine through each and one of you individuals. And that's what this is about. And in order to get to that point, we got to talk about the things that's going on that's got us to where we are today. And that takes accountability. Now, me being the person that I am, I was always taught coming up by my pops that if you're going to speak on a subject, always provide a solution, right? And so
that's right.
We have so many people in podcasts that's coming out, and they're talking about subjects, and they're not providing solutions. They're just talking because what they want your money, they want the numbers, they want to click on you, right? And so they're doing the same thing to you that the system, right, has done to you. And so when you talk about oppression, when you talk about trauma, when you talk about racism, when you talk about equal opportunity, when you talk about genderism and things like this, and all these agendas, we're gonna get into all of that, right? But first, people got to understand that's listening to the show that hey, you have went from understanding the system, because in today's society, technology doesn't give anything for anybody to hide, right? And so you can research this, you can research that, you can read this. You got people throwing out information. Now the government throwing out information. And so even inside of that box, inside of that cage that you're in, right? You still have the opportunity to pick out what's good for you, what's not, but you can still see the logic of it if you pay attention and see what the reality is, right? Now, that is not to say that the government and its systems and its agendas, which is we're going to talk about, one is women empowerment, the Black woman, okay, and just women empowerment in general. We're going to talk about that. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about parenting. That's one of the things I want to talk about. We're going to talk about racism because this country was founded on racism. That's one of the things I want to talk about. We're going to talk about knowledge and education because that's important. The reason we are where we are today is because of the lack of knowledge and education. We're going to talk about education in two ways, having it, not having it, and what education is. You know, are you being indoctrinated? Are you being indoctrinated or are you being educated? Are you able to be asked something and able to go and seek the truth, research and learn for the truth, right? So those are things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about all these people that's got these podcasts, right? And all the hypersexuality that everybody is around here making money off of, right? Destroying your people, bringing more evil, unbalance on this earth, right? We're going to talk about the entertainers. Now, I know this is your field, right? And I respect every entertainer, right? So it's not just specifically. Now, when I name some names, right? Like the LeBrons, and when I go and I name the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's or whatever like that. Those are not to say those people are not specific people that I'm pointing out or they're doing these things per se, right? It's just to say these are the names that people relate with, right? They have this idolization. That's what it's called, right? This idolization. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the LGBTQT pronoun community, which I'm going to break that down and what that is, right? Respectfully, but it's going to hurt. And that's what it is. So let's get into it. Also, we're going to talk about the Umars and the Farrakhans and the TD Jakes, right? And the Muslims and the Christians and the Jewish. So we're going to talk about a lot of things. So we're going to first start out. I'm going to explain to you that's something that everybody needs to know to get everybody on point before you even start talking about anything. First and foremost, when I start talking, I tell everybody this: whatever you believe in is for you to believe in. I mean, if you want to continue to believe in religion, if you want to be in spirituality, if you want to throw rocks, if you want to throw bones, whatever it is, if it's making you be a righteous person, right, stay with it. But when I'm talking to you about brothers and sisters, I can give a damn about what you believe in. That's for you, right? So what I'm coming with is I'm relating with you. I'm taking you out of this ordinary, like, I got to click on it. I got to have so many likes. We're not doing it. Now we sitting down in the room with big mama, cousins, brothers, sisters, best friends. This is what we talking about.
Man,
right?
Let's do it.
And so we're going to knock all that out. So when I say names and I talk about your religion and stuff like that, you know, yeah, I'm going to answer some things for you and clear some things up for you so that we stay current. Right. So when I talk about the Jews and the things like that, so we're going to start off with religion because I know that's a hard thing for people to swallow. So we're going to knock that out of the way first. Right. Okay. I know everybody talk about Jewish people and then Black people. And then you got white people and then you got Asian people and you got Hispanic people and you got all these different races. Right. So what I teach people is that when they give you a name or a classification, right, and they add power to it, right, then it helps you to separate you. Right. or separatism, right? And so if I say, paint like this, 2 children, right? Black, white, Hispanic, 3 children, black, white, and Hispanic. They don't know colors. They all sit there and play in the playground unless somebody come and teach them that black people don't play with white and whites don't play with Hispanics or something like that, right?
That's right.
So this same process is a mental process, what they call when they give you classifications and separate things for you, right? So this is what they're doing. So you got to understand, this is what they have been doing to you. So for me to knock that out, I'm going to clear it up for everybody. The blacks who say they're Aboriginal, which they are, right? And so they have this thing, we want to own this, we want to own Kemet, we want to own the land, we want to own the motherland, right? Respectfully. The whites, right, who come from the Caucasus Mountains, or who's our brothers and sisters, because if they wasn't, then we wouldn't be able to mate with them. So when people say, well, they're not the same race as us, then you can't mate with somebody who's not the same race as you. So they just have different things in that DNA structure, which causes their melanin. So like their ether is, and they double sixes on their helixes and things like that when it comes to their DNA, what melanin they hold. Okay, I'm not gonna get into the science because that's gonna hold it up. But so you got those, then you got your Christians, and you got your Muslims, and you got everybody talking about, I believe in this, and I should believe in that. Well, the truth is, the only thing that's indigenous to this realm is human beings, right? So regardless of what color your skin is, if you don't have humility and the understanding that you're overstepping your bounds to the creator and disrespecting the creator. And this is why I'm naming all the religions, so I can knock them out. If whatever religion you are, this is for you, right? This is how much and how lost that we are and traumatized and in the system and doing what we want. And this is the big word, what. Everybody got a what and what they want, right? But how disrespectful are we to the creator when we can have wants and things like that, and we don't even appreciate the things that he's giving us, the opportunity to live, the opportunity to be able to see your reflection within yourself, inside your children, inside your brothers and sisters, the opportunity to go in a place and spread love instead of confusion and hate, right? The opportunity to be able to provide a correction, right? And still pass love on so that you can reach one, teach one, right? To still have that type of godly things that he wants. And so I'm gonna paint an example for everybody because it's probably hard. I don't really want to go into details on what my beliefs is because everybody have their own beliefs, right? Everybody is entitled to their opinion. But one thing for sure, 2 things for certain is when it comes to the creator and whatever it is, like, you don't overstep those boundaries when it comes to disrespect and saying what you want, but you're not respecting what the creator has. And what I mean by it is the creator has given me the opportunity to breathe. And what people are doing right now and taking their time to be on this planet, they are charging people for their purpose, right? That the creator has put them on this earth here. They are charging people in monetary value. So what it is, you're doing a service, because anytime you do something for monetary value, it's a service. So that means numbers, that means likes, that means dislikes and things like that. But when you do it for non-monetary value, right, then you're doing it for charity of your brother, for humanity, for life.
As you should.
Now, and the reason I point out these people is that do it for likes, and I'm gonna name some people like the Umars, and they had the Polites, and they got all the other new names, the Conscious Lees. They got, everybody, the Tanya TKs, the Latrues, the Kevin Samuels. First of all of them, everybody, all of y'all, stop. You all doing the same foolery, the same trickery to your people. So we're going to go down the line, right? First of all, I talk about Farrakhan and the brother, he's doing his thing. And whatever they're doing, they serving their purpose, right? I'm not here to tell them, but I'm going to call accountability what I call accountability. Now, the reason I have a problem with Farrakhan is because Farrakhan, he's been out there with some of the greats. He's been out there with some of the Martins and the Malcolms, things like that, the Jessies and the Sharptons, right? Who, by the way, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson ain't shit. Excuse my language. I'm gonna say it just like that. For the community, just like Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. Right? So we're gonna talk about that. But right now, these type of people, we're gonna start with Farrakhan. I don't like him because to me he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? Because he uses religion to build his mob, and then he doesn't stick by the religion, right? So this is why I mean how they got you so tricked that they just using their sounds to build their monetary value and do what they want to do and build their own gang, right? So he got the Muslim gang, right? So this is what he does. If you're not part of his gang, then he doesn't really deal with you, right? That's the first thing. But if you are your father's seed, and I believe his father's Caucasian, right? And so if you have a Caucasian man's child teaching me, right? Oh yeah, yo, a lot of people gotta look. You gotta stop now. Now look now, right? Okay. We talking about accountability because they like to point out, they like to sit here and preach. Oh, black people gotta be with all black people now. White people gotta be with white people. So we finna go to accountability of everything that they talking about. Yo, if your pop's white, you a white man. So I'm supposed to listen to the white man teach me how to free me. So when you think about that, your enemy will never teach you how to get free. So when you think about it, wouldn't that make sense why Farrakhan is still alive? All the greats got killed, all the way to this present, all the way to the Castros and everybody else who've been doing this. They present. When you doing your job, they kill you, right? It ain't that much security in the world because everybody had security. They got killed, right? So he's still there. He leeching you alone. If you got that much power to stand up there with the presidents and meet these people and be on TV, why haven't you rallied up all these rich black people that listen to you and your influence? Remember, right? Preach, minister, right? They listen to you. But you ain't brought your people home. You ain't built infrastructure, you ain't built no way, you ain't gave no solution. You can preach, and God forbid, let it be somebody that's not in your game. Right? Now he say, well, why would you attack the minister and talk about in his game? Well, let's talk about all the other games. Let's talk about how all of the religions killed somebody who to make them believe in them, right? Christianity, right? Muslims, all these religions, all the way down to the Buddhists, all of them. Right? So y'all killing people. Now let me show you how it doesn't take you a bunch of books. Let me show you how the creator doesn't make confusion, right? Because anywhere that the creator is, wouldn't be part of no fucking killing, would it? See, we got to start having accountability for ourselves, to educate ourselves to look at things for what it is. We've become so used to being told how to think. That's called indoctrination. When you can think, how much you should think, and if you're thinking too loud, if you're thinking in the wrong room, right? But if you sit back, you say, at any place where the creator, something that is so righteous, something that is so holy, this is why I say, you can't even fathom the mindsets of people who try to win a ticket to their own personal heaven. Right? So if you're not even being honest, if you're not even being honest to your soul with the creator, right? Then how can you trust your brother or sister to be with your heart and soul, right? Because my job as your brother and sister is to make sure that I love you accordingly and speak life into you for your soul, because we all trying to reach that heavenly place, right? Now, remember, I'm not trying to tell you and break down to you what heaven really is and get into you real spiritual and knowledgeable and all that, because this is for you, whatever religion, but whatever your heaven is and whatever your holy place is with your creator, you trying to get there, but you disrespectful at the same time.
Wait, hold on. You just trigger something off, man. I got a question for you, right? Because I've been letting you get the stage, man. You've been going in, but I got to ask a couple questions because this is the show. But this is a godly question. You know what I'm saying? If you had a 30-minute interview, you get to ask one question, and the interview is with God, what would you say?
Me
What would you
personally,
ask? What would you ask?
if God called me in, right, and said, "Hey, I want to talk to you about some things," and
No,
you
you
got
ask him. You got to ask him one
I get
question.
to
That's
ask you
it.
one question.
That's it.
Um, did I do
Ain't
it
gonna.
right?
Okay.
Did I serve you correctly?
Mm, okay. Okay.
Did
So
I
that's
serve you
another.
correctly? You know,
That's
because
another one.
okay,
So if he switch it up and God get to ask you one question, how would you respond? And the one question is, how did you like it in on heaven?
wow, okay. So if he said, "How'd you like it on heaven?" I would say, well, besides a few things that I experienced, I loved it.
Mm,
It was the opportunity that you gave me to experience. It was the
mm,
opportunity that I get to go and experience things that others don't get. I get to experience
mm,
things through you. I get to experience things through myself. I get to experience things through interaction with others. I get to experience things from afar. I get to experience so many things on a natural day, right? That I can build an imagination
mm,
to come to a conclusion to manifest the things that I want.
mm.
Right.
That's right.
And this is when you get into your affirmations and things like this. This is when you understanding what you are, that you're energy, a divine light. That's what you are. Your
Mm-hmm.
energy. You move on a frequency. When you take your DNA sign, you turn it sideways. What it look like? A frequency,
Mm,
right? You move through your frequency. You get knowledge through your ancestors, through your mRNA. This is why they're attacking with vaccines and things like that. Your mRNA, right? Because that gives you your information strand. If you don't have an information strand, then you can't stay connected, right, to the creator.
mm,
So this is when you breaking down on a science form, right? They use CRISPR, right? They take your DNA frequency and they break it down into every detail, tell you how you got this, what make your eyes blue, what make them green, what make them brown, and this and that. But the thing that they doing through all these systems they can't get is the connection through us with the creator compared to them to the creator, right?
mm.
And now, if you want to understand that, I'm not going to get too deep into that. But if you want to understand as far as books, you can read about the Nuwayan people. Um, you can actually read about the Bible. That's the book about white people when they first started and came to existence on this planet, along with the Nuwayan people and stuff like that. We learn about Yakub and stuff like that. And these are all books to say this, that it's still a step up of saying, hey, a man wrote this, and this is the creator working with me, right?
Yeah.
And so I always teach people that a man doesn't need a book when dealing with
Right.
the creator. The creator is much more than bigger than a book, right? And so give me one second, please. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. It's all good. And I see you going in, man.
Oh yeah, so the creator is more bigger than a book. Sorry about that. The creator is more bigger than a book. He's more bigger than you can imagine, right? And so to give him that least amount of respect is
Mm,
just appalling, right? It's appalling. And so that's why I talk about these people, because they come on here and they push these religious things that back it up, because God, for anybody forbid that you talk about somebody's God, right? Like
mm,
that's the scapegoat, right? So now you use God for an scapegoat,
mm,
right? Because if somebody says, well, you did this and you don't want to be accountable, right? Then you say, well, I'm grown. And then once they get past the, well, just because you grown, that don't mean you can do this type conversation, right? Then it's,
mm,
well, you ain't my God. Only God can
mm,
judge me, right?
mm,
So now, let's say you get up to God and God asks you, so I sent you down, well, he tell you, I sent you down there to serve a purpose, and you charged your people for what I told you to do.
mm.
You had people going broke, misleading your people, misguiding your people for something that I told you to do? See, people don't put in perspective how deep it is to build a relationship with the Creator, right? It takes accountability. It doesn't take you being perfect. It takes accountability, right? And we've all been victims of failing at that, which brings me to the next subject. In today's society, men and women have a role to play. We've been so indoctrinated, so traumatized by the government and their systems, by miseducation compared to indoctrination, by racism and the foundation of this country, not just by us, but by everybody. Because when you think about it, going back before we leave the subject of religion, God gave everybody a chance to run this motherfucker, and everybody failed. You see? Everybody around here saying my religion better than yours, my color better than yours. And God said, I gave niggas a chance to rule. I gave white folks a chance to rule. I gave Hispanics a chance to fucking rule. I gave Europeans a chance to fucking rule. I gave everybody, right? So let me count them off for you, right? I even gave you natives, right? The Mongolian, the Asians, the Mongolians, right? The Native Americans had their time, right? The Africans had their time. The Zulus and the warriors and the queens had their time. The Romans had, for the Europeans, had their fucking time, right? The Greeks had their time. Every classification of race, he gave you a chance to run this motherfucker. And what you do? You ran this bitch in the ground. You forgot it was about humanity and love. You forgot when he first breathed life into you. The second breath was amazing. The first one woke you up. You didn't know if it was going to continue. So that's amazing. Right? But you around here like, I'm supposed to have this, but you forget that as human beings. That's why I say in America today, we got more PETA commercials than we have homeless commercials. And if you have homeless commercials, it's for another country, right? You got white folks who will walk over a fucking human being, but kiss a dog in their fucking mouth. Right? You got black folks who will fucking watch their own reflection, get the shit fucking beat and stumped out of them and video recorded. Which brings me to parenting. Anybody who say they're a good parent right now, if you ain't homeschooling your kid, you ain't farming for your kid and things like that, shut the fuck up. You not. And I ain't say be quiet. Because remember, they don't understand be quiet. It ain't about your emotions. Because remember, out in the streets, before you have to sit down and somebody have to provide correction to you, then it's, oh, I'm the baddest bitch. I'm that nigga. I'm this, that, especially with black folks. You ain't doing so much that you got other races doing it. So everybody had the emotions. I said, yeah, you need to shut the fuck up. In that order, just like that. Right? Because you're not a good parent when you know that the agendas that they pushing, the pedophilia, and the reason why is because you call it the LGBTQ, and I gotta get it right, and all of this weird Z, all the other letters. You call it that instead of calling it what it is. So I'm gonna educate you on what it really is. And maybe if we start calling things and being accountable for what it really is, then things will start being corrected. So they're not LGBTZ, they're called sodomites. You see, it's different when somebody say, "Hey, look at that sodomite over there." Instead of saying, "Oh, look at the bumblebee eat shit up," whatever it want to be. Motherfucker say, "I want to be a cat, want to be a hook, a she, a gay, a lesbian, a boy. There's a woman that's a boy, intermix." I don't know, like.
So you want to be everything but what God created you to be,
right? And then you turn around and say, and this is what everybody say, "Well, you're not good, God. You can't judge." Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you never ever judged, then you'll never. If you came out your mother from birth, and from the time that you can have some recollection to move around, if you never ever made a judgment, once I set you down on the ground, you'll never move again. Think about a 2-year-old. Once you learn to walk, once you sit them down, they take off. Boom, they make a judgment. Do I hit this wall? Do I hit that wall? Do I touch this stove? Do I touch this socket? They making bad ones. They get correction, but they making judgments. You have to move. You have to be discerning, right? So ain't no don't judge me, right? That's part of the lack of accountability. That's what people say when they don't want to be accountable for their actions. Right, and the reason I'm speaking on these people like that is because we're around here and we seeing and everybody turning the blind eye to it. But going back, and I keep it going, so I keep it in line, so can nobody get confused. Going back, if you believe in the Creator and the Creator got you, right? Because this is what everybody say when you get something good. God, that's why I say bad frequencies bless you more than good frequencies do.
True.
Because if you really believe that, then you wouldn't worry about the Creator having you.
Yeah.
So the monetary thing, the most evil thing, money, you wouldn't worry about that. You just keep worrying about the purpose and how you serving humanity for the Creator. How you speaking and acting through love. How you stand as humble as your foundation as possible. Right?
Yeah.
And so now when you talk about parents, why do you know that they pushing gay agendas or LGBTQZ or sodomite agendas, right? And that's why I say your religions tell you ain't supposed to believe it. The same thing with the Christians, the same thing with the Muslims. Everybody gonna say, well, it ain't my business, it don't matter. But the last time I checked, in all y'all religions, the Creator never ever punished one person. He punished everybody and cursed everybody for what somebody did, right? Your Adams and Eves, right? Yeah, right? So now you got to stand on it. Right, so now you know that they pushing these things in your schools, they pushing it on TV and all things like that. But you don't want to be a parent, which is your job is to teach and educate your own child.
True.
See, this is why accountability is so important. And watch how I put this together, right? Because parenting ain't just one person. Parenting is two. It's a man and a woman who got together and created a child, right? And so you got together and you created a child, but some things happen. People want accountable, right? So either one, the woman wanted accountable, and I like to say it raw, and excuse my language, you might have to zap this out, but she wasn't accountable, one, with her mindset and her vagina. Unaccountable. One, you open your legs to anybody, not learning the man, right? And so when I say you're not accountable with your mindset, you're not educated in the way of understanding of how you carry yourself, how you pursue man, how important your body is, and how much of a blessing it is to give yourself to a man. Right? You create life. You keep life going on, and you're around here opening up your legs and your body to people just because they cute. Right?
Hey, I got a question for I'm gonna ask you this question. If you can talk to your 16-year-old self at the age you at right now, what would you tell him?
It's gonna be okay. You're gonna get through the abuse. God, I got you. You smart as hell. And so what, you couldn't go to that school that would have probably been the biggest thing in your life, but you turned out to be just what the Creator wanted you to be. So ain't no regrets. Because my life as a kid, I was a virgin till I was in the Army. And I went in the Army, I was in the Army, I was a virgin till I was like 21. I went in the Army when I was 16. My mom signed me in the Army. That's how bad I was getting abused coming up as a kid, right? So from 16 years old, I was in the military, experiencing life and experiencing things, experiencing combat and things like that people double my age hadn't experienced. And it wasn't nobody to turn to. It wasn't nobody to turn to and be like, let me ask this question about life. Let me ask this question about reality, And so I learned them things in the hard way. But that's the funny thing about the Creator. He blessed me to go through hard times so I can be able to speak to people. It's kind of hard to speak to people on something if you haven't went through that. People say, well, you just hearing it from a story. Well, I can relate to the molestation. I can relate to the people making you take drugs. I can relate to the abuse. I can relate to being homeless. I can relate to having my own business. I can relate to being in the government. I can relate to growing up with siblings that was adopted, so having to share your parents. I can relate to having to have a stepfather compared to my biological father. You know, I can relate to all these things. I can relate to being locked up, having my freedom taken for nothing. So I can understand when being locked up hard, and I can understand being locked up falsely, right? So I've been through all of that. And so, once you go through those things, then you start to look at it. I had to look at it myself and say, no, when you look at all the religious things that you see around you, and it's truth to everything, right? Everything is not bad. It's some truth to everything, right? And how you find that is when you see it in the past, you see it in the middle, in the present, and you hear about it in the future, and you see that it's like history, like it's going through. They talking about a little continuity, so you know it's some truth to it, right? What they call that is precept upon precept. That's what they call that, right? That's what that means. When you see something in the history, then you see it in the present, and then it happens in the future. So people still talking about it as they go on through time goes. That lets you know it's in real life too, right? And so when it comes to parenting, our purpose here is to prepare our children for the world that we beset before them. This is why accountability is so important, right? And women, and I know I want to go back for a minute before I go forward, because a lot of women heard the comment about women being unaccountable, but you didn't hear about the men being unaccountable with their penises. Well, I was a virgin. I was 21. Okay, so I didn't have sex in high school and wasn't thinking about sex. So I can say that to my kid. I can say that, right? And so that brings me to the next point of the hypersexuality. This is another reason why I feel like all the podcast people out there, all the way from the Kevin Samuels, and God rest in peace, I like Kevin Samuels. He got some great points, right? But he ostracized his business on the weakness and the trauma of our women without acknowledging the trauma that was put upon them. See, one thing I do when I talk about things, I might scold the women for example, what I'm talking about now, how 98 to 95 to 98% of women right now are using their bodies like in prostitution ways for monetary value, whether it's OnlyFans, whether it's how you present yourself on any social media, how you present yourself out in public. It's just what we're getting to the point to where it's affecting our children. So now we have our women that's at a high rate and our children at a high rate that's being kidnapped and trafficked and things like that for the nasty individuals. And people say, well, how do you know that these people are nasty individuals and these are not conspiracies? So we're going to stop and we're going to answer these questions before you even ask them, because I know that's what you're going to ask. The first thing is first, when you get a lot of money, and I'm not new to money, right? I've had some millions and I've lost them at a young age, right? I'm not afraid to admit that, but I'm not new to money. And so one thing I know about when you got a lot of money is you can only buy so many properties and assets, right? So you got passive income, right? And then you move to assets. So right now, if you just work for somebody, you are in the E bracket, right? Then you move to the B bracket, and then you move to the I bracket, which is the invest. So that's E, employee, right? B for business, I for investment, right? And then assets and things like that. And these brackets is how you look at it, right? When it comes across the business spectrum on a layman term. Right. And so me being in those aspects, once you get up there, your money is making money, you got so many cars, you got so much clothes and things like this, then you get into those like billionaire, those places, those wild parties, right? Now, when you get into those wild parties, you got to stay accountable, right? What I mean by that, you got to speak the truth. Now, this is going to hurt some people. You got to speak the truth. The savagery that runs in the DNA of Caucasian people, right? Because we know this to be true, because everywhere they've gone, they call it colonization, correct? And so that savagery includes rape, pillaging, and murder, right? So just like you carry mRNA, they carry mRNA, right? With the same connection that when they go back to their savage mode, hence why when they get mad and they go to an extreme and they murder you. Now you got all your protests, why you got all these people died, the Tamir Rices. Now I'm not saying nothing now these people. I don't have time to rest in peace, everybody. But I'm just trying to give you the names where I'm going so people can relate to it, right? So when you got all these things happening, this is why. Because nobody wants to take accountability for the trauma. Just as well as you've been traumatized, white folks have been traumatized, right? Because you have to come from a perspective of the creator. The creator made human beings, right? He didn't make fucking savages. He made human beings. But when you go and start dipping your hand in the pot of the creator, and then you start mixing this and start doing that and start doing it, like, for example, genetically modifying. This is why you have other beings when you genetically modify and grafting and things like that. And you have white people. This is why you have that from the DNA. And this comes from different realms, different stuff around. People don't believe in stuff like that. I don't want to get technical in that, but you have different realms. You do have higher knowledgeable beings, right? The earth was different in certain times, right? And so when you having all these beings and they worked on us and they grafted our DNA and they made Caucasian people, right? From us. But they made it, so they used canine, right? And Neanderthal, right? Canine, which gave them Neanderthal. So human and canine with a little bit of monkey gives you Neanderthal, right? So I'm explaining to you for lame terms, so people won't say, well, he making this up. And I'm gonna show you how the creator doesn't make no confusion, right? This is where you get the whole point about Adam and Eve having belly buttons, right? But even further than that, right? Even further than that, right? Remember, you wasn't reading, right? You wasn't reading, you was oppressed, you didn't have all this, right? When we talk about slavery time, but it was times way back before that, right? So it was times way before when Caucasian people was made, and all they did was black people in a different region, grafting and staying in the region, changing the settings from being extreme cold to extreme hot, right? Ain't nobody in the lab doing experiments, and the only thing is people made it at certain times. So when you're in a place, right, people get naturally bound to want to mate, right? And so let's say if I'm up here, and you see this in today, that's what I mean about precept above precept. I'm up here, you see people who sleep on farms, they screw farm animals, right? You see people that have incest, right? Right? Incest people sleep with each other in the family, right? And so you say, not these people, it happens in all races. So let's be accountable. It happens in all races, incest.
Yeah.
Right? So put that concept until back then, right? People slept with dogs. People slept with the sheep. Right? People slept with the herd. Right? And so just like now you see DNA and structures and stuff and everything going on, you have these type of modes that carry on in these savages' life that carry on to people. So why wouldn't you think that if I got a lot of money, I wouldn't Epstein fucking island you? Right?
Yeah.
See, you can only do so much with money, but the fact that money glorifies everybody's life, because they like, oh, if I ain't got no money, I ain't gonna make it. But that, once again, that shows your faith in the creator. Thank you. Right. You going to heaven. You going to heaven because you can say them verses, right? You can wear that bow tie, right? You can play with some stones, right? You going to heaven because you can sit Chinese and fucking play with some incense and call on Buddha. All this fucking religion shit, and everybody using religion to get themselves to where they want to be to make somebody feel like how they want them to feel. All while disrespecting the whole point of religion to get you closer to the creator to be righteous.
So why you think they do that?
Well, it's through the trauma, right? And so people now looking at the original trauma that we have, right? When you say the creator put you here. So let's say if you take a baby and the baby can't talk, and so the baby always following you everywhere the baby goes, right? Then you see another baby. So now you got another baby pop up. It's two babies. So the baby's always following you. Then you pop up as 3 babies. Now it's 3 babies. The baby's following you. Now the babies can't talk. You ain't talking. Now you take one of those babies one day that they following y'all. Every day you go out in the park and you following y'all play and everything. But one day you go out and you take one of those babies and you pick it up by its legs and you bash it across the building until it dies. Do you think once you drop that baby and call for those other 2 babies, do you think they're going to come?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not, right?
No.
They're not going to come because naturally, and this is my example of the creator doesn't cause confusion. You don't have to have, get that. Stop that. I got people coming over telling me to be quiet. You don't have to have confused. Close the door if they ain't for me. I'm busy right now. I'm doing a show. So you have to have confusion when it comes to the creator. He doesn't make confusion. He doesn't make room for anybody to be confused about how his actions was and how it's taken, right? So when you excuse me 1 second. Close the door. And I just told you to close the door, right? When I say close the door, just close and unlock the door. All right, so excuse me, sorry about that, y'all. It's always got to be correct, right? And so when it comes to understanding how deep of a connection that you got to have with the creator, because you got to think Mother Nature, that's your mother. That's God's wife. She does everything that your mother do. She provides you oxygen. You know what it is. You can't make it though, right? Without her soil and without her earth, you wouldn't be able to grow no food for you to eat. Right? Without her water, you wouldn't be able to quench your thirst. Right? Without her trees with their leaves, you wouldn't be able to get out the shade of the sun. Without her sun, you wouldn't be able to be who you are. Right? So all these things you're looking at when it comes to religion compared to just knowing and building that relationship with the creator, asking yourself, why am I here? What's my purpose? Who am I? I am a human being, like every other human being on this planet. It don't belong to nobody. It belongs to the creator. Your blessing is the fact that you had the opportunity to be placed here. You see? So now go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I always tell people, man, they fear the ones with knowledge and they take advantage of the people with no knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand, so they'll take advantage of us if we don't understand. So
that's what they do.
For the people, so for the people that don't understand, I want to ask you this question first of all. In the last 90 days, how many books or audio books you checked out?
Oh man, I just did a thing, man. So check it out. I'm glad you said that right here. So this book right here. This book right here is an awesome new book that I've had it for a while. I haven't busted into it. I just busted into it. But the Superstar book that I'm reading, I just did some Rich Dad Poor Dad because I'm about to get into some real estate stuff pretty deep. I just did a Rich Dad Poor Dad seminar. I just did the awesome book Atomic Habits. Oh my God. That book is a must read. And I got another book that's interesting for you too. Let me grab it. So this book right here is another book, Terra Firma. It's another book I got. So it's another book. What I tell people is get you a book, put it on audio. So get an audio book and then get you some headphones and just listen to it, man. And it really turn your head, man. Especially that book, Atomic Habits. And that's one of the things that I'm working on every day because that's what you're supposed to do, work on every day, step by step of growing yourself. Never set a goal. Always work towards being a person that will have that goal. And that's how you do that. You do that by building habits, right? Small habits here and there. So, for example, if you know you want to lose weight, just start by just driving to the gym and sitting in the parking lot for a few minutes, right? You just can't get the gym in there. Just get used to just going to the gym. Put some, sit in the lot. You got to go in yet. Just sit in the lot for a minute, right?
Or
next
just focus on today. Just be like, you know what, today, this I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to work like this. Just focus on the day. Then the next day, focus on that day.
Well, I mean,
you can focus on next month. Don't focus on next month. Like I'm going to do this for. Because now,
Right.
if when you build the habit, now you turn that habit into a lifestyle.
Right. Now that's exactly so what the people are saying, like, for example, instead of being a person that reads book, I'm just gonna be a reader of books. So I'm not like I read a book today, I read a book 3 months ago. So eventually I get used to reading 10 pages a day. Right. Well,
Yeah, I just
I've
like
been
to
a reader
read.
right. So now I just become a person who's a reader. So now let's say, for example, if I want a business, right? So business people, instead of just shooting to be for my business, right, doing the business plan, getting the LLC and things like that, I do things to become a person who will have a business like that. Right. So I go to the gym, I work on my health, I work on my appearance, I work on my image, I work on my knowledge about things. I educate myself in the business I want to be in. I educate myself in finance. Right. So I become this person who, when the creator gives me the business, right, I can run with it. It's the same thing as parenting. The creator gave you a child.
And he gave you everything you need.
And you ain't running with it. Right. And so we're failing. We're failing our children. We're failing our elders. We failing our elders because we didn't keep them attached. We didn't keep their ways. We didn't keep them attached to where they are today, meaning we didn't keep them up to speed on technology. So you got old people around here getting video cam and all type of things, looking what people call looking crazy or out of pocket on the phone, and people just using them for monetary value. Right?
Yeah, man.
They getting attacked.
But do you
go ahead?
Do you feel like you have to understand? Most people don't understand, right? So the people that don't understand, can we really hold them accountable?
Okay, let me say something like this. First of all, that people that don't understand, I think that was something that was made up by people who didn't give a fuck about what other people and how you inflicted your burdens or imposed things on other people. That's a selfish person that say that. You understand, right? We just used that. I just used that example when I said about the babies, right? So you understand. Ain't nobody got to break it down to you for you to understand. For example, you understand when you see the Epstein, when they said it was an Epstein Island. At first, you might not have understood, but when they brought in Ghislaine Maxwell, you started to understand a little bit. But when they said that Prince Andrew and then everybody was guilty, and they had the roster and all this, and they started seeing the kids, and they opened up the shipping containers and caught the kids and seeing the photos, and you started seeing people getting snatched and people trying to get put in cars. Did you understand? You understood.
Mm-hmm.
But the fear, right? The trauma that they instill in you recollects with your fear. See, right? Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. When you're growing up, you did something, you probably got your mama, she whooped your ass, right? So you was in the fear that if I do that, then I'm gonna get in trouble. So I'm not gonna do that no more. But you never had an opportunity for somebody to sit down and tell you, well, or even after she whooped you or spanked you, to sit down and ask you, well, why did you do that? What caused you to want to do that? Here's the other side of doing it. This is why I whooped you. It's consequences, but these are the consequences that you could have had if I didn't whoop you and you continue to do these things. See, it's about how you do these things. This is why they say, oh, you spared a rod, you spoiled a child, right? It's not, you don't beat your child, right? But you provide correction, and sometimes through corrections, an ass whooping is needed. Right? This is why you got so many grown ass and overgrown ass. And I say that grown because I'm in my 40s, and you got overgrown people older than me that's out of pocket. To the point to where the children are so out of pocket. You got grown folks following the ways of the children. Explain that to me. How can you follow the ways of the children who don't even have critical thinking? Because they had the internet. They don't have critical thinking. Right? So if it ain't a trend, right, then they ain't following it. They don't know. If you can't Google it, then you can't know. So this is what happens, ladies and men, when you talk about relationships and parents and everything that's going together. When you talk about what men ain't men and women not women. Because without critical thinking, you can't be a man and solve problems. Right? This is why it's easier for a man to put his hands on you and beat you out of his emotions and his anger for his lack of logic, his lack of masculinity, the feminization of the emotional of just being with a single mother, right? And emotional sometimes with a man in the house, and it's two parents too. Everybody keeps saying just single moms. Even with two-parent home, the man don't have a voice, right? Because society has set it up, the woman can take it away from him, right? You check your woman, then you go to jail. We all know that whenever it's a call on a man, it's domestic violence. When it's a call on a woman, you should have just walked away, bro. We know how it goes. It's a system set up. So to say that it's not a system, whenever you're talking about something, right, is leaving out the accountability, right? Just like black people want to say, well, I didn't even go to that. We're gonna go to parenting. We're gonna stay with parenting first. I don't want to jump around, but you got the parenting for the food. You got the education, right? Not only are you getting indoctrinated, but you got the sodomy agendas that they teaching, right? You got them. They want to commit crimes against humanity on the medical system, vaccinating your kids, sticking your kids, all things like that. People touching and molesting and raping your kids and allowing people to beat on your kids. Students beating up the teachers and the teachers. So now you got people bringing guns and all this. So you got all these things, and you call yourself a great parent, and you not homeschooling your child.
You're sending them out to danger.
You know why? Because you want to send them out to danger. You want to send them out so you can say, oh, they can go to college. Or no, that ain't it. The truth is, you send them out there because you ain't got time for them, because you out there doing some shit you ain't got no business doing.
The babysitter.
The babysitter. The teacher become the babysitter, right? Everybody else become the babysitter. Your responsibility, your lack of accountability of opening your legs. It's for the man and the woman.
Yeah.
You opening up your legs. And one thing my mother told me, once you open your legs, you pop that dick, you pop that pussy, you get wet. But you got to get the fuck up. Now, everybody around here and popped it and got wet. Now, when it's time to get up, don't nobody want to get up. See, I despise my brothers and sisters. The information ain't wrong, right? But the information is useless. Why? Because it's like this, right, bro? We know America is racist, right? We know that the whole world is racist towards black people. So should nobody have no problem with Trump? This is for all the black folks acting like niggas. When I mean nigga, ignorant person, acting like racism was true to you. I love Trump. Trump, he may have been a bigot or a racist, whatever you want to call him in them terms. I don't care. We're going to call it racist. He ain't like niggas, right? But one thing I like about him is he didn't allow the other racists to hide in the closet. He was like, I'm racist, and that motherfucker right there racist, and she racist, and she racist, and he racist, and they over there trying to kill y'all and be racist, and they racist too. We all racist together.
Hey, they show came out.
And I can respect that.
Yeah.
Everybody talk about snakes. See, the snake just stabbed me in the back. But I can respect the man who say, hey, I believe in white power. Just like you got a person who say, I believe in black power. This is why I don't like the Umars and shit. Because he talk all this shit. Black people got to be black people. And that's it. Yeah. So you going to sit here and lie and be like the thick white girl, or the thick Hispanic girl, or the thick Asian girl, whatever other fucking girl, if you a man that like women, because you should be, right? Walk by and you want checking her out. You ain't want none of that. Huh? Because you not attracted as a human being
to another human being.
As another human being. Right?
Cap.
Yeah. Because let me tell you something about your Kim and your Pan-Africanness, right? If you from America and you take your nigga ass, and I call you nigga because every time I call you nigga, you know what I mean, you do some ignorant shit, to Africa right now, and I ain't talking about going over to Ghana and a visit and planning a trip. I'm talking about, oh yeah, I'm moving to the motherland. Nigga, you gonna be a nigga over there in Africa. You don't know shit about them languages. You don't know nothing about the African way. You don't know nothing shit about no hyena running out the woods on your ass. You don't know nothing about the machete, Rwanda, and the Hutus and the Tutsis. You don't know nothing about none of that. Right? Because remember, if you did, you wouldn't be getting scammed by them from over here in America. You getting scammed by Africans. So if you don't speak their language, you don't understand their ways, you're going to be just like over here, oppressed, but by your own reflection again. So ain't no going nowhere. You see, the purpose is to be where you are and provide that love through your voice and actions wherever you at. Ain't nowhere to run. Ain't nowhere to go. You got to serve. That's your accountability. And people not looking at it. People look acting like men ain't got to be men and women ain't got to be women. See, I tell women like this, it's the words and the ways you say things. So I'm gonna make it clear because everybody confusing. We're gonna go down the line and we're gonna correct some things, right? So you don't want no submissive woman. You want a cooperative woman. Your oppressors made you submit by beating you, right? Men, real men, all men, stop calling women and telling them you want them to be submissive. You want her to be cooperative because she's a mature woman. She shouldn't have to be handled. You handle dogs. You handle animals. She should be cooperative in her own mature self to be able to work with you or not work with you at all. You see? These are the things that we need to start correcting on that, right? Stop calling yourself queens and kings if you don't conduct yourself that way. First of all, man, if you ain't striving to be a self-sustainable man, that means building businesses, provide. Right now, a man's supposed to be growing food, building protection, right? Building a place, shelter, having all these things self-sustainable without somebody else having control over it, right? For his family. So if you laying, ladies, if you laying next to a man and he ain't got these things planned out for you and moving towards these things, why is you opening up your body for him? Stop opening up your body for him. Make men be men again. Y'all talk about the men that lay. We talk about the men that lay on them, but you give them avenues to lay on you.
All right. So what about the men that was never taught how to be men, but taught how to be niggas?
Right. So the hardest thing, I got a saying for that. The hardest thing for a nigga to do is to stop being a nigga. Right.
But if that's all he know how to do, he don't know how to be.
That's what I mean. So they always got this thing, each one teach one. It's kind of like when you gang bang, right? Even gangs. Right? Everybody got a gang and they got a clique or something like that. So this is why I be saying people be a part of things and they don't really understand the concept of being a part of stuff. When you talk about brotherhood, somebody being there, you will have somebody there in your life, in your face, and your energy every day, and they're not teaching you nothing, even though they have a better way for you to understand something and see about something in a different perspective to help you navigate your journey, right? So you're navigating your journey, whether it's through education, through religion or your beliefs, or whether it's through your homie, just a friend or relationship or whatever. It's all about the audacity that people have to show that lack of respect. Right? If you don't respect that I have my own personal purpose, that's my individual, just as well as you. I also have a purpose that's connected to you and to everyone. And I also have the opportunity to say whether I want to share myself and that purpose with you as you are and as I am. So when people start to go against that and don't understand, like, and look at the burdens and the things that you do and how you treat people and the things that you put on people, that's all a I guess not a refund. Yeah, I guess that's all a refund from trauma. From nigga ways. Right? And that's because we are energy. And so what do we do through trauma? We spread negative stuff. Negative stuff spread through energy faster than the positive thing. So if I come up to you and there's three of y'all and y'all having a positive conversation and I'm mad and I walk up mad and shit and I start telling y'all about it, like, man, I just over there, they fucking and y'all mad. When y'all leave, then y'all gonna have that energy and y'all gonna spread. So now that's 4 or 5 people that's got negative things to talk about instead of positive things. We don't change our conversation.
Yeah, that's called tanking. And yeah, man, a lot of people is not conscious of their unconscious decisions. Some people don't know that they doing it. And that's how I live by. I live by. You have to understand. Most people don't understand.
That's because, okay, so look, if you didn't understand something, could I provide you correction?
Now, that's what I'm going to say. My next question was, when was the last time you asked for some help from somebody with something personal and you ask for some help, something personal you were dealing with, and you ask somebody, man, help me, bro. Something personal.
It's been, I would say for me, it's been a while because usually I'm usually the person that's always helping somebody.
You see,
so everybody has to. I understand that. So let me go on that. I'm usually the person that's always helping somebody, but that doesn't mean I don't have the perspective of somebody who needs help. Because I'm the person who's always helping somebody, I have to be humble enough to understand their plane of perspective, right? So what they're going through. Now, what you're saying, why you asking me that is because it's hard. People say it's hard to go up and be humble and ask somebody that. Well, I blame that on everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
See, so it's like this, but that's the thing. Somebody will say, "Well, it ain't happened to me, right? My cousin didn't get killed, but then when my cousin get killed, everybody sent prayers up." See, it's the mentality of not having the accountability to saying, "Hey, it's always the white people," and then turn around, and then when you see the shootings in the videos, ain't no white person around. It's your own reflection.
Hey, you know, like when you said, man, Trump hate niggas. Well, I know some niggas that hate niggas too.
There you go.
And they really kill niggas. I ain't heard Trump kill nobody.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you even, and I can say multiple things. Let's take the killing away because it's killing in every community. So let's throw the killing away. Let's talk about the scamming. Let's talk about how your people are already oppressed, and they oppressed through the system and monetarily too. And you will scam them. Let's talk about the getting people either killing them or getting them incarcerated. Let's talk about those things because we may not do it on the street level, but you got people of color, melanated politicians who, like the vice president right now, has built her fucking life on incarcerating people of color, her own reflection. And that's because we don't attack trauma as for what it is. We attack everything in the perspective as, oh, if I go and put a name on it, like if I go to therapy and I just yell out all the things that's pissing me off, that it's being fixed, right? That's not therapy. Let me tell you something. A therapist don't do nothing but take your problems that you yelling out to them, right? Because if you don't talk, they ain't gonna know nothing. So everything you telling them that you basically opening your mouth, blurring out shit, right? That's touching you, hurting you emotionally, and whatever monetary, whatever you're going through, right? Only thing they do is put it in order and tell you, okay, now try to attack it this way. Put it in a different perspective. Let me try to look at it from this way. Now, when you go out and lead a therapist, did them bills go anywhere? That was stressing you out? I don't give a fuck. It don't matter if you look at a $100 bill, you can look at it from it's a $100 bill in a good way, a $100 bill in a bad way. It's still a $100 bill that you got to pay, right? Yeah. And if you ain't got that $100 bill, it don't matter how good and positive you looked at it, it still need to be paid. So I say that to say the accountability is what we lack. You lack the accountability to say, hey, this brother out here doing bogus and you won't correct him. And it's gotten so bad that now you have to have a fear, right? So now it's a fear of reading. It's a fear of having healthy relationships. It's a fear of masculinity. It's a fear of real women empowerment. Men are not masculine, not feminine because they can't solve problems. If you can't solve problems, then you can't provide. You don't understand the critical thinking of how to break things down and how to approach things, right? And so now your only go-to is to shoot somebody.
Yeah, I always said that. I say, man, listen, when you educating yourself, right? You get to talk and you get to explain how you feel by different words. But if you don't have those words, because I'm from the projects and I didn't have no good education, I couldn't express my feelings. So when I got angry, I couldn't express my feelings and the guns came out.
Right.
Because that's all I knew. Now, when I got older, I was like, damn. And when I start having kids, I say, I was on bullshit. I wouldn't want nobody shooting at my kids. And I don't want my kids out here being angry and frustrated and snapping on hurt people, hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
I was hurt. So I understand now why I was doing what I was doing. And a lot of people would look at me like, boy, you was a gangster. You was out there. I'm like, no, nigga, I was a hurt little kid, bro.
Yeah, and that's why I tell these grown ass. Oh, that brings me to a point. These overgrown people that highlight gangbanging. And see, this is how crazy I want, because I like to point out the trauma. You highlight gangbang, you highlight I see the parents with their kids, right? You post a picture, because what you do, you post a picture on social media of your kids, and they take a picture, they got their hands up, they got all this and that. Then 3 months later, your kid shot dead. Boom. And you like, post for me, help me with the funeral, and this and that. Where's the accountability in you saying, hey, excuse me, what them fucking fingers mean in that picture? Let me see. And break them bitches. Don't you ever, as long as you my child, throw no motherfucking fingers up in no picture that you got and sharing me or giving to me or in my face, or I'm gonna see. What happened to the accountability of being a parent?
Yeah.
See, and you know the reason and this is the reason I have to talk about names, all the Kevin saying, all the podcasts, all of them that's today, all of them, the reason that they all are so famous and all so important right now is because of hypersexuality. When black people, first of all, don't need to be having no sex. And I'm not perfect from it. Like everybody get their sex. No, I'm not perfect from it, right? But on the intellectual level, hypersexuality should be the last thing we talk about. We have no infrastructure, no power, and nothing. So the status quo for us gonna be always, where do we stand? It's always at the bottom. No matter where the world turns, you want to call it the reset, the flip, history repeating itself, whatever you want to do, you have to understand if you don't have no infrastructure or power, anything in the judicial sides, right? Any in the Senate, judicial, legislative, anywhere like this, government, politics, anywhere you don't have no power, nothing, weapons, wars, anything like that, arm bearing, you don't have no power, then you're always at the bottom. Right?
Yeah.
And so it's like we're going to the party and we ain't even washed our coat. We putting the jeans out the hamper with the jelly stain on. just to go to the party. Right? Motherfucker eyeing that jelly stain again.
Man, I'm gonna say, I was stay flow that motherfucker up.
With some stay flow. That's what they're doing. They got the jelly stain in there, put some more starch on it, and oh, it's crispy, it's gonna be dark, you can't see it. You feel me? And so you ain't prepared yourself for what's to come. Right? Hence, shout out to everybody in Ohio who holding strong. But like I told them about the mask, you have to be accountable for what really is going on, and so you can understand the things that you're up against. Right? This country was built on racism. So at the end of everything, we as a people have to be able to say, okay, we're not going to continue to let it go into racism. We have to be accountable for that. And this is what I mean about the whole world. Everybody has to be accountable for that. Yes, because everybody from Farrakhan to LaTruth to RZA to Ben to every consciously, they can come out and tell you every fact, every law, everything that they doing, how women treat men, men treat women, all of that makes no never mind. If you don't have your intellect to understand what you're really dealing with. For example, what I mean by that, if you don't understand that we got basketball stars, sports entertainers, you got rappers, and you got movie entertainers and actors and stuff like that, that's making more than people like agricultural sciences, doctors, lawyers, right? Now I ain't talking about all white people. I'm talking about we got twins that's neurosurgeons. You never hear about them. 2 twin male doctors that's neurosurgeons. You never hear about them. We got little girls who's up in the technology, so high in technology. She at 14 years old. You never hear about her. Why is she not making millions of dollars? Why? Because we glorify people that's big kids. That's another thing we need to be accountable for. We need to stop glorifying and pulling all of our monetary value since we own a monetary system, because money changes, right? It's showed it through all history. So
Did you
no
you
matter
heard
which,
about the my I
huh?
mean actually my I ain't even cut you off, my bad. You said money change. You heard about the what is the money? The money finna change to what is it
to
like
the
electronic
to the
money?
like the crypt, the CDC, the money where they can
No.
monitor you. This
Yeah, the monitor. Yeah.
it's like CBDC, like it's all about the crypto money and all of that. All that is to
Yeah.
put a stamp on you to monitor you. It's like CCCTV. Only thing the government trying to do, that's why they building these 15-minute cities. They around here, they put doing all these derailments, all these fires to grassland to push people out. They push you all to a middle land, then they build these cities and funnel you into these cities. Right? This is what they
Mm-hmm.
trying to do to get you into this reset. They switch the money. The money they have been doing this since forever. You've been through, if you look back in history, money have been changing multiple times. This is nothing new. This is just a different phase. You got remember you had the Stone Age, you had the Bronze Age, the Silver, all these days, now you're in the technology age. It's the same plan, just adapted to in a different age, right?
Mm,
And so nothing new is under the sun. This is why we have to
mm.
stop looking at things to be comfortable. We have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
That's one
Yeah.
thing I can say about white folks, right? White folks, you piss them off, you take fucking Tommy PlayStation, he will shoot up the whole motherfucking grocery store or school, right?
Mm-hmm.
You park in Ken's or Karen's parking spot, and they'll shoot you dead.
Mm-hmm. And why you
Now,
think that is? Why you think they do that?
that comes from they placing in the system with oppression and racism and things like that, and having power over everybody else in this country. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. We got to stop looking at it like it's this country what it is. This country was founded on racism. Racism is still here, but we have to change it. It is a transition to change it. We can change it as long as we hold each other accountable. So that means stop going past and letting things ride. Even for when you check a white person say something racist, check them right there. Stop letting them get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to point them out. You a bigot, you racist. Let me explain to you this about this, that. You don't have to necessarily beat them or shoot nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? In some cases, it's so bad out here. And this is what I mean about building that relationship with the creator and being accountable, because the evil is so unbalanced, right? That it's hard for somebody to say, well, I'm out here trying to spread the good stuff and things, and I'm scared somebody gonna shoot me. I'm scared somebody gonna rob me, right? So then why you speaking? Where your belief in the creator?
Yeah. If that's something that you believe in doing it, if you're gonna die doing it, well, so be it.
You should, anything that you do to serve a purpose for the creator, you should be willing to die doing it.
You feel me? Hey man, I got a couple questions, man. I've been letting you chop it up, man. We already hitting an hour, man. I got some of my personal questions, man. I got to hit off on, and I'm gonna give you a couple of them because I know you got a couple more things you want to hit on, right? So my first question is, what's the first thing you do or think about when you wake up in the morning?
When you wake up in the morning, when you first wake up, the
I said
synopsis of your
you,
brain. Oh,
you,
me? Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, acknowledging, because I like to educate people too. So acknowledging that when you first wake up in the morning, your brain is triggering like at 45 seconds the synopsis. That means it's rotating through things that's getting in there and soaking it up like a sponge, right? So the first thing that I do when I get up, I listen to motivational speeches. I listen to motivational speeches. I am a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat and things like that. No meat like that. So there's fruits, vegetables, smoothies, and stuff like that. So I compound positive affirmations to myself, which is why if you look on my social media pages, I always have a Grand Rising post every morning to give a positive message to people. From my heart, it's not out of a book, it's from me and in my mind, and I give it to people to share. That is me throwing a piece of myself out to my brothers and sisters in the world every day. Right?
Okay, I got a couple more questions. My bad.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Hey, I'm like 50 Cent, man. I got 21 questions, man. So what do black men ask for help? Like what do they go to ask for help?
In today's society, a lot of people like to say black men they don't really go and ask for help. I say contrary to that, it's kind of like double-edged sword. And what I mean by that is black man society holds accountability on black men, right? Even ourselves, men hold accountability on other men. So it's kind of hard to run from that. So when it comes to going for help for it, we go to barbershops. We used to go to elders. We go to group discussions when we kicking it. In some places in these days in technology, we do go to social media, right? But what I would tell somebody is this: what I will always tell somebody is to go within, right? Challenge yourself to want to be righteous at least once, a day. Go within yourself. Challenge yourself to listen to that little person within, to the right side of it, right? To the good side of it. And then, like I said, build those habits. We are creatures of experience, going back to that. And we build habits off the experience. But what somebody else eat don't make you shit.
That's right.
Hey, so you have to know what to take from that and throw away and keep, man.
On the real. Hey, I got another question, man. Growing up.
Let's go.
Who was your favorite teacher?
I would say I had, if I could say, I had two, but if I had to say one, her name was Miss Smith. She was my science teacher. She was the lady who, she seen something in me. I went to Carver, so I'm from the South Side, Arguello Gardens. I went to all Carver, and she was my science teacher. She used to rock this look like high top fade fro. She had some glasses and shit, you know what I mean? And she was a science teacher. She used to pull me to the side like, "You gonna be my science?" And to be honest, I won a state science fair twice. For my school, and I won it for a suburban school. And it was on germination. So I taught about how life corresponds with plants and growing plants from a seed to a plant. So I teach people about that. I also teach people about growing their own food as of right now, currently.
So you got some food growing?
Yeah, I always keep some. Well, right now I just did a harvest. So since I'm a vegetarian, so I just did a harvest. So right now what I'm doing, I'm moving my grow from my basement to my bedroom, my spare bedroom. So I'm in the middle of doing that. But I always keep some microgreens, around. I always teach, if you ever do my social media, things like that, man, I'm always teaching you guys how to grow things. Make sure you prepare for things and stuff like that, people doing to you. But more than that, teaching people how to open themselves up, to spread love and to be accountable, to provide correction. We all need correction, sometimes I have to apologize to my followers. I might say something, and this is what you don't see a lot of people do. They don't come on and apologize, to somebody put them on the spot. But no, I come on, I said this and I came wrong with this, I said that. And that's because we have that subconscious trauma. That's that cage mentality where we're all in a cage, but I'm gonna stand on the soapbox and yell down at you, right? Instead of me having a solution to open the fucking cage and tell everybody to come out, I'm just gonna stand on the soapbox inside the cage, right?
And that's the thing I tell people. I say, man, do animals today, cats, dogs, is they living the life that God designed them to live? Like, we put them in cages, we leave them in houses, we get them all their toys, we get them food, water, but they not living the life they were designed to live. And that's how we are. We in our own cage, our house, we on our own cage. We got all our gadgets, we got all our phones and TVs and whatever we need, and we just be stuck in a cage. So we know better than animals. So yeah, you're right. You're stuck in a cage.
Isn't that the purpose? Isn't that the purpose of understanding the whole relationship with the Creator and why you're here? Because you know better than nobody. Isn't that the purpose to be? Isn't you when you say equality, right? Black people, listen. I'm not sitting up here and saying I'm not Lil Wayne talking about I ain't never experience racism. We're not erasing that. But what I'm saying is you got to have accountability, right? So you got to say to yourself, is everybody racist? No. Right? Because Tom is not racist at the fucking company picnic when you're sitting there playing softball with him. You see? This is the thing that I have with people, right? But is it sometimes that's racist? Yeah. Right? Is it certain things that certain people do? You can say a lot of things. You can say black people do this. Black people might do some ghetto shit and wear flip-flops and some shit like that. I don't know, whatever. And you can say white people do this. You can say Hispanics do this. You can say Asians do this. So everybody have something that they do.
Hey, have you ever seen the Chinese person pump gas?
I have seen them pump gas, but I've never seen. One thing I've never seen Chinese people get food delivered to their restaurants. Never seen that. But I have seen them pump gas, but it's very slightly because they have their own communities. So you got to think this melting pot of the United States is built on multiple communities and ethnic backgrounds made to push you out. Right? So they bring people in from different backgrounds. They consume you dry. Right? This is what I mean by all these. Hold on, before you say this is what I mean by all these podcasters and everybody. They consuming you, and they getting rich off of you, right? But they not turning around and helping put the infrastructure back into you, right? I just seen Farrakhan them do Hereafter Farms. Hereafter Farms came up and didn't stay up for that long because most of it got filled by his game. When he could have said Hereafter Farms with Jay-Z, Kanye, Beyonce, since everybody want to be a Jay-Z, Kanye, and Beyonce, right? Since everybody made them rich, paved the way for them to be rich by supporting them, right? And buying their shit and equipment and things like that, right? And since they tend to do nice things, right? We ain't talk about nice things for other rich people, like people who got rich, like Meek Mill, and done some stupid ass shit, and then get himself locked up. Like you still want to do thug shit, or rest in peace to this man, because I don't wish death on nobody. But like Quavo shooting motherfucking dice at a fucking place when you rich, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not speaking that I hope he died, but these are the stupid things, the ignorant things that we have to be accountable for that we're doing. Just like every time it's a riot or somebody get killed illegally, we go and tear up our own community when we don't have no own community as it is. So the only thing you doing is every time you tear it up, they got insurance on your nigga ass shit because you ain't got no business that's in your own community. You're not fighting for that. You're not fighting to tear them out your community and then open up a business in your community and sell to your own people. You just going to loot them. So they get the insurance and still come back the next day. The Arabs and the Koreans in your community. And then your people that got rich off of you, your Jay-Z, your Beyonce's, your Farrakhan's, your Umars, your TD Jakes, your Chris Olsteins, all these people that got rich off of you, hitting you with the Shambhala and the blah shit. Right? When they have the purpose and the opportunity and the ways, right? You can't tell me it don't. You put the man that put the Million Man March together can't tell me you can't put the Million Real Estate March together. Huh? You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that Jay-Z can sit there with $1 billion in a video with a $1 million ruby ring on. And him and his wife is one of the two big people that get idolized, which is, by the way, wrong. Idolize other people. But anyway, they get idolized in the whole music industry. And you ain't thought to go cop a couple of 100 acres and open it up for your people and build businesses and call it Jay-Z neighborhood? Beyonce, call it Blue City. You could have called it Blue City after your daughter. She could have been the mayor of it. But you could have opened up opportunities for your people. You could have funneled it like you funneled it in your raps to your homeboy Jizz or Jay, whatever names you be saying when you be saying your little raps when you was coming up. You funneling them money or you funneling your people in the streets still now? Why you can't funnel it and put it in somebody else's name and have them tell them what to do when they get some land since your contracts tell you can't? Since the evil shit that you do tell you can't. See, it's the accountability. And accountability falls on us too, the people who are at the bottom, because we still support them. Why is we still supporting superstars that's getting paid millions of dollars, but we ain't supporting these kids that's graduating at 14 years old with masters and doctor's degrees, making sure they got millions of dollars and getting whatever that they need to keep on continuing doing what they're doing, and then grasping other kids like them? Why? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because we don't have no accountability in being parents, in being adults, right? And being godly human beings. That's why. And so we walk around like we really doing this shit, right? Because you got a nice car, because you got a Gucci belt, you went to the club, you got your show, right? Your family ain't starving. You got your job. You making over 100,000. You could do what you want to do. Ain't no recession for you, right? But one thing I know is about everything, even when you talk about the pyramids, right? The pyramids led to a point, right? If you turn the pyramid upside down, would it be able to sit on that point and still be balanced? No. You know why? Because it needs a solid foundation to build its weight up. So when you ask about accountability and you saying, before you could keep saying white this, white this, white this, because you can't keep saying that to a certain point, where's the accountability in yourself? Where's the accountability in changing the conversation? Why did your kid make it out the house to get shot? Why you didn't catch your kid? Because you knew about the gangs. You knew about the pictures and the photos. You knew about the drugs. You knew about the neighborhood he was going to. Why you don't know where your kid at? Why you don't know about this? Why? Instead of what? Why you want to know about who fucking is sucking on you, but you don't know where your kid at, so they've been snatched in traffic.
Yeah.
Tell me one time back in the day, this is a question for you. Back in the day, did your mama ever lose you? What did your mama tell you? She said, you had a briefing before you got the car. She turned around to you. She said, listen, we finna go in this motherfucking store. Don't ask for shit. Don't touch shit. Keep your hands on the cart. Move where the fuck I told you to go. Where you act up is where the fuck you get smacked up. Don't let me tell you more than once. Yes, ma'am. You got out the car, and if you slacked up, and it was, even if it was some white person right there and said, oh, you know what she said? She said, bitch, you shut up, I'll smack your ass too. These my kids.
Yeah.
Why we don't have that accountability no more? Why is it that it's 14-year-old boys and girls, right, on Snapchat and all type of social media prostituting themselves for monetary value? Why? You know why? Because the men ain't out here being leaders. The women out here, they prostituting themselves. You talk about women empowerment. It's Women Empowerment Month. I want to bring this Women Empowerment Month. Where the empowerment? You don't see none of the women who are empowering themselves. Where their families at? Where their kids at? Take the men out. We talk about women first. The women first, right? It's the empowerment. It's the empowerment agenda. And this is why I say black women. People be scared to say this. Black women are the biggest, let alone women, but black women are the biggest weapon against masculinity in the black man. Let alone women masculinity, period.
And why you say that?
You know why? Because whenever you see the black man, the man building up, he always building up his man, woman, and child, his family. Now, when you talk about the woman empowerment, you look at women empowerment today, where you see them there? OnlyFans, popping their assets out. You don't see no kids, even through the stars. Let's keep it 100. Even through the rich, right? The Lizzos, because she supposed to be having an empowerment movement. We're gonna stay with everybody. All the female empowerment. What empowerment means? It's all about your body. It's all, so you paint a perception that your body is of no value, and then when you get treated that way, then all of a sudden it's a problem. So if we don't speak on the accountability, right, that we have when it comes to men and women and how they carry themselves, right? Because we have people that's watching us that we preparing for the world. So if I allow you as my brother without holding you accountable, say, hey man, why you out here beating on that girl? Now I didn't say, oh, you beating on her, I'm finna beat on you. That's trauma. That's for all the sucker motherfuckers who think, oh, he put his hand on somebody, so he hit my sister, so I'm finna go hit him. Nope, you a sucker too. Because you lacking the accountability to say the problem is he living in this type of way and he got these type of ways of how he responds to stuff because of the trauma. Right? Look at the R. Kelly trial. Everybody want to talk about whole R. Kelly. Now, white folks been doing this shit for forever. Look at R. Kelly. They want to hold him up in there. But one thing about R. Kelly is he was a victim. It was in the videos that he was being molested as a child. So when you go into therapy, that's why I say therapy is some bullshit. People, this is another justification for people to use and not being accountable, man. Because when you go into therapy, the first thing somebody will tell you, a therapist will tell you, when you take a person who has done something, like let's say a person has molested a child, and he has known factual trauma of being molested himself, they'll tell you 9 out of 10, they grow up and become accustomed to that and see it as a complacent place, a comfortable place. And so they may sometimes, 9 out of 10, relay the same thing, which is what R. Kelly does. Right? His brother and his sister molested him. He felt that's the way that he feels his connection. Like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. This is love to me. Because that's what they telling you when they grooming you. See, it's time to stop lying. I know because I've been molested. This ain't nothing new. See, I do this for the creator, bro. My people know. This ain't nothing new. So they grooming you. They telling you things from people that you trust and love. They telling you this is the way it's supposed to be. And now for people who want to dig in, I ain't get poked in my ass. So I'm going to leave it at that. The people that have done the things and atrocities committed against me, I have forgave, move on. That's what it is. I had to go through Trump. I had to go through therapy, which led me to find out the things I need to know, which led me to go back to the creator and build a relationship with the creator and find the inside of me, love myself, to know that this is acknowledging what this bowl that I'm in, this thing that they call the matrix, what it's full of. You can't be gods and goddesses, right? That's what I mean by accountability, divine light. You can't be gods and goddesses and then conduct yourself less than. How can you screen somebody fucking you over when you fuck over God every day? You expect them to forgive you? Cap.
Big cap.
You see? Oh, I can't trust this motherfucker. Backstabbing, doing it, but you ask God to do it for you every day. You see? And so this is why I tell people like the accountability with men, right? You want a woman to treat you like a king and serve you and things like that, but you don't appreciate the value of your woman, right? You don't understand and communicate with your woman. See, everything ain't about lovey-dovey, and that's the problem that we have when we're doing more sucking and fucking than we're doing is building and growing and unifying and understanding why we here. Fucking and sucking don't do nothing but keep on building babies for the same crutches that they build and that they have us. The things that traumatize us, these benefits, welfare, all that stuff. Welfare, I think, me personally, I think welfare, low-income housing, WIC, child support, every benefit known out there from the government should all be canceled. And before somebody say it, I grew up, my mother, she worked, but she used it sometimes. So no, ain't no bias to it. It's called accountability. It's factual. I think it all should be canceled. It's a crutch. It's a crutch. Let me show you. Let me break it down to you. Right? If it wasn't no child support, right? If it wasn't no welfare, think about it. Before you lay down up under the hypersexuality agenda, those conversations would be a lot different, wouldn't it? And it wasn't no abortion and all this stuff and all that. Those conversations would be a lot different, wouldn't it? You know, it would. It would. You know why?
Yeah, it'd be.
Because the woman wouldn't allow you, one, to just sleep with her without a plan, something going on. Being a man, house, car, being able to financially support yourself before you start opening yourself to even intrigue yourself to learning about her. Respect and manners.
Right? I got a question for you then.
Go ahead.
Would you be happy with having a kid with everyone you had sex with? Would you be okay with that? Like, whoever you had sex with, you guys have a kid by.
You know what?
Because that's what you're saying. You like, if it wasn't none of this, it'd be like, damn. Because you know, humans and dolphins is the only ones that have sex just for pleasure. Everybody else, they have sex to reproduce.
I would not want a kid with everybody out here sex by.
You see what I'm saying? So we don't be conscious about it.
Let me tell you why. That's different. I think that's different than what I'm saying, because you saying, well, like, if I'm saying the conversations would be different, it'd be accountability on both sides, because men wouldn't just do that, just sleep with women, right? Because they know that the consequences of having to carry that burden and how it's going to be looked on the community then.
Or now, you can say, if we have sex, we're gonna have a baby. Period.
Automatically.
That's it. Automatically.
Okay, so what you're saying, let's say every time you have sex, you will have a baby with somebody.
You reproduce. That's what you do. Right. You have sex to reproduce.
Right. That's the only time you should be having sex.
Yeah. We wouldn't be having it. We wouldn't be had this mindful. We wouldn't have this sex.
That's the accountability of saying, this is the perfect way to fix that situation, but it's the reality. This is the fine line, right? This is why you have to have discernment. This is why you got to have these talks, because it's the fine line. Like the solution would be, shit, if you ain't married, no sex. But that's not the reality. So it has to be a medium where you have to say, hold on, skirt. We got to have a serious conversation. And the reason these conversations can't be, or how about the reason that hold on can't happen, is because of these crutches. Because the same way it's a crutch for a woman to open her legs and knowing she can get child support, it's a crutch for the man, vice versa, subconsciously trauma to say, I can just pay child support. It's just another bill, nigga. You see? That's the subconscious trauma of the balance of it. Life is a balance. It's not one way. So if you're not acknowledging the subconscious trauma on both ends, she's saying, I had this baby, he don't want to be here, I can get child support. He's saying, shit, I just pay child support. Who losing? The baby.
Yeah.
And it's all because the systems are set up. If those crutches wasn't there, it'd be different, because I'll tell you this, check this out. And let me show you the cap in everybody, because I know there's going to be some people on here saying, he's saying this and this, and he got baby. Yeah, I'm not saying that I haven't made a mistake. You got to learn this shit. You got to grow. You got to learn, right? Do better. But let me show you something, though, right? And so, because a lot of people are going to be like, well, how can you say don't use the systems and it'll be a whole different thing and be accountable? Look. When you have systems that give you an opportunity to be unaccountable and replaces that opportunity with a full-fledged backing, right? Unjustified, but a full-fledged backing of laws and policies, and put some power behind it, that's a separation. Right? Because you got either human beings or you got white people, black people, Asian people, Hispanic people. Now that you got white people, black people, Asian, Hispanic people, now you got strong black people, medium white people, less than medium Asians, less than medium Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now you can classify them. Now, once you classify them, the balance is off. Because one is saying I'm better than you, and it's not seeing the other perspective of that. Hey, if it's too many people that I'm better than, then they can come for me because it's less than me. Now my balance is off.
So if we're trying to get out of this web that we stuck in, this trauma, because do you know the problem to every problem?
Yeah, it starts with the person who got the problem.
Well,
you don't
I say
have
the problem.
nothing in your life are you unaccountable for, because you play a part in everything that's imposed on you. You play a part, so you have to acknowledge that part too in order to grow.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, that's the case.
problem is the person that's with the problem.
Okay, I could take that. I say the problem. Well, I was gonna say the problem is, the knowledge itself and the action. Because some people had a knowledge, they know, but they don't put it in action. Some people don't put it in action because they don't know.
True.
But at the same time, like you said, with the growth, I think people grow when they get tired of the bullshit they putting themselves through. When they get tired, I got tired of my bullshit and I changed the way I look at things.
So let me ask you this. If while you was doing your bullshit, if you had somebody that was like, hey man, listen, don't do that, dog. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you a different thing. See, it's easier for somebody to say, hey man, don't do that, man. You should do this. How many people say, hey man, check it out. I'm doing this. Hey, brother, look, man, brother to brother. Hey, come do this, man. Stop. I don't want you to do this, man. I feel like that's bad for you, bro. Come on, let's do this. Now, you got your right, but check me out. Let's see what I'm doing.
And I'm going to answer your question. I would say, didn't nobody never pull me to the side and say, look here, little G, man, this ain't how you do it. But then I will also say, I won't be biased and say, oh, man, it wasn't like that for me. People ain't. No, I say, I don't think at that time I was teachable. I wouldn't even let nobody teach me. So, yes, it was on me. It was on me because Noel never taught me before. But then when I started teaching myself, I was like, damn, I want people to teach me. And people was trying to teach me stuff, and I wasn't trying to learn it. And I was like, damn, I kind of painted myself in the corner.
How did you get there? How did you get to that point where you were unteachable? That is the accountability. That's what a problem. See, everybody want to fix the problem after it's already there. Nobody wants to go back. For example, everybody's like, oh, you raped somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're bad, which it is. I'm not taking that for no rapist. But nobody wants to say nothing to the victim about where were you? What situation did you put yourself in? Right? This ain't a no means no. We know a no means no. But when you went to the party, how were you dressed? Did you get drunk as a lady out by yourself? And when you went with friends and your friends left, did you stay?
So you saying just because she probably was drunk at a party or such and such?
No,
that
I'm saying
it's
all
her.
about being situational aware. It's all about being situational aware. You have to have accountability for your placement as well. It's for example, listen, if I know on the low end they be shooting all the time, and the party that my homie invited me to is on that block, and I go and they get shot up and I get hit, who fault is that?
Man, okay. Well, let me take it back. You from the G?
Yeah.
I'm from the G.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they get down. Now, if we want to go visit, we know better. We know it's fucked up. If we go visit and we get shot on the fluke, who problem is that? We want to go visit our family, but we know how to get down. See me, look, man, shout out to my boy, my Uncle Jones, you know what I'm saying? I got my brick. Remember up top? The yellow bricks with the name on it?
No, up top.
Man, I got my brick. They not finna they ain't finna get my brick up there. They ain't finna get my name on the wall. I'm not finna be another statistic. I'm not finna die in the hood, bro. So people be like, man, we gonna come back to the hood. Probably not, because I know how y'all get down.
Why do we feel so attached to have to go back to the hood. The thing should be is get out the hood. Or if you're gonna stay in the hood, make the hood a Eden, right?
Mm.
And I've got times where I did teachings and lectures on this. Turn that concrete jungle into an Eden. How do you do that? And I can only speak for how I approach this, right? I've talked about taking all that place where they got your kids running around dumbfounded, talking about a playground, right? Tear that shit up. Build all the men in the community. Use your fucking money. Put a fence around all that fucking playground area and that park area, and build a fucking garden. Go rent some equipment, build some garden, put some food out there, put some fish tanks out there. Make a place for people to come and eat in that community, right? If you have to, provide security. Pay for security. Get the community to do it. My grandmother was Miss Wheeler. She most definitely had shit doing, so I know what's possible there, right? And so all these type of situations that we talk about, like, well, how can we do it because we in the hood? Turn your hood around. You ain't got to keep on doing the same goofy ass shit in the hood. We talk about people killing. We talk about killing and don't snitching, right?
Yeah.
Right? But when how else we gonna fucking stop the people from killing? How else?
Yeah, killing. Yeah, and
we gonna build our own black team within the community that goes around, and when you kill somebody, grab your ass and turn you in? Just you?
No, man, niggas in the hood be like, we're gonna kill the killers. Nigga, that's recycling. Let's keep going on and on.
Do the same thing. So why not take them and grab them, kill them, turn them in, put them in jail? Or if you're not gonna put them, you say don't snitch, right? Because we got this thing, don't snitch.
Hold on, let me tell you about the no snitching, bro. Because I was a victim to the shit, and the shit made me feel stupid. One day, it's family shit. I'm a family man.
Okay.
One day, my son got dizzy, fell out. No, kind of, you know what I'm saying? And then he left with his friend. So I told his mom, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He damn near, that kind of bust his head on the side of the wall. But then that nigga jumped in the car and left. She like, you let that nigga leave? What the fuck? Like,
right.
What? Why you ain't calling ambulance? Why you ain't calling ambulance? My dumb ass say, because this how it's programmed, I'm not calling no fucking 911. She like, this your son, bro. He could have been having a stroke and you let him out the door and walked off with his friend. He can die. You could. I say, man, when they call an ambulance, the first responders are gonna come to the police. I'm not messing with the police, bro. I never called the police. I never did. And hold on though. And that made me feel kind of like, because I was programmed like that, bro. So as you as a father and your kid needs some help, house broken, house on fire, who do you call? The police or your homies?
Call the police, and then you handle it with your homies afterwards. See me, I look at it from a different view. Like, don't get me wrong, I believe in if you out there doing street shit, it stays street shit. Ain't no snitching, and this is what people confuse snitching.
And see, this is why I say it, bro. And I know and I understand what it is, and it's like you can't be a street nigga and a family man.
I agree.
Because it's gonna be a point in time when you're gonna have to call the authorities, bro. And if you a street nigga and your backyard ain't clean, I can see why you don't want to call them people and why you let your daughter or your son die. But because you ain't going to call them people.
So that goes back to this. That goes back to the accountability, right? If you a street nigga, first of all, you don't eat what you don't shit where you eat. All your street affairs should never be linked back to where your home is, right? You gotta be on your 5 P's, right? And so if you a real street nigga, not one of these made up ass little boys, right? That's why I said they don't got critical thinking, they just got guns and drugs.
True.
See, back when we was doing this, you had to get permission. If you wasn't in it, if you wasn't a drug dealer, you ain't sell drugs. You got told to take your ass to school. And even when you did, if you was gangbanging, you did hustle, did whatever, or you didn't hustle, you just gangbang. You had that when the report cards came out, yeah, report cards was turned in. I had to turn my report card in. I had to exercise, take care of my body. This wasn't my mother. This was the game.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to accountability, just as well as I can find good things in the game, I can find bad things. So when I say the accountability is, I would never now as an adult promote gangs. Never.
You see what I'm saying, though? But was it a time in your life you was a part of the gang and you also felt like, nigga, I die and kill for this shit? You see how we was programmed, though?
When I was a part, no, but see, I'm different. It was like this. When I got in gangbanging, I got in gangbanging because my friends that I grew up with, they was gangbanging. I didn't know that they was gangbanging, right? And one of my friends got into a fight gangbanging. But when I came around the corner, all I know is this is my best friend fighting. I don't know nothing about no gangs, right? And so I go help him, regardless, because that's my best friend. Now the next day,
you was guilty by association,
right? So now the next day, he don't go to school because he on some gang shit, and I just go to school I just fought people because I helped my best friend. So I get met at the road from the ops, and they trying to whoop on me. So now when I gotta fight my way back to the crib. So I initially go to my homie crib. Hey, I just got through fighting these motherfuckers and such. What you doing? Boom, we doing this. So eventually, I'm doing this because I'm already in it. These my guys, I'm rocking with them. I grew up with them. You know what I'm saying? I flipped in the park with them. I played kick bam slam with them. I ate in their mama house. They ate in my mama house. You know what I'm saying? Like they spent the night at my house. These guys and crash kids. I didn't see shit happen.
Okay, so it's safe to say your childhood sounds just like mine. I didn't step and get blessed in, and I was a gang banger and tattoos with forks and 6 point. I wasn't that crazy. I was just these was my friends, and I just like you said, and I was rolling with them.
And so think about that. The unity that you can do like that, and you can't, and as a grown person, you can't find a way to do it now.
You see what I'm saying?
So when we go, so we gotta hold ourselves accountable. We gotta stop. So how do we do that? Stop the rap music. Yeah. Promote that shit. Promote that rap music. Gotta go. If it ain't about the creator or something righteous, it gotta go. We don't want to hear it no more. Stop it.
That's right. And
if it's a photo, they got anything with a gang sign or violence, it can't be displayed. It can't be nowhere on social media. When we gonna start that? See, if you don't have the accountability to say, I experienced this. Remember, I said we creatures of experience. Mm-hmm. It's us that build the habits. Mm-hmm. We build habits to be comfortable instead of challenging it to have a better experience or enhance the experience. So when you experience gangs, you have two choices. You can challenge it, or you can go and you can build a habit with it. So even when you build a habit, you find out as an adult that it's not good, then it's your responsibility to go back and make sure that you let anybody that run past you know that gangs ain't the place to be.
Thank you. So I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. What is a quote that you try to live by?
Well, since I do quotes every morning of my own, but one thing that I always live by is wake up every day to do something different and be better every day. Choose at least once every day to do the right thing. And make the next day harder to do the wrong thing.
And eventually it'll turn into a lifestyle.
Because it's all about how you see it, right? So you can wake up today and be like, man, I need some money, and you might rob somebody. But if you wake up the next day after that and be like, well, I'm gonna go rob somebody else, that's totally different than saying, damn, I had to go pay my bills so I can turn my heat on, so I got this money and I got my bills, I can make another month until I get a job. You see, that's the difference. And then when I get a job, I ain't gonna never rob nobody again. I'm just gonna keep my job and keep myself where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing about politics, the thing about social media, the thing about all these things, these outlets and things where people come and it's trending, is people don't have any ties or any empathy for their humanity, period. Let alone your own brothers and sisters, right? It's for humanity, period. Do you know people will rather spend a lifetime trying to please everybody here than be able to spend an eternity, which you don't even know how long life is for you, but an eternity doing the righteous thing with the Creator, right? Involved and solved inside the bosom of the Creator. And that means, when I say with the Creator, that means on the vibration of happiness, elevation, love, peace, prosperity, serenity, right? These things. And it takes accountability and discernment to have those things. Right? It's no getting around. There's no getting around the problem with the black and the black man, woman, and child family connection. It's easy. Stop promoting hypersexuality talk. Soon as the podcast come on talking about, when it's a woman podcast host talking about men and how they ain't doing something in relationships or something sexually, shut it off. Because last I checked, ladies, you don't need to be talking about none sex, because you can't even talk about nothing. We ain't even got a family yet. Where your kids at? What your kids going through? You don't need to be worried about popping your pussy. Worry about what's going on with your kids. What they eating, what they being taught. Are they able to keep a childish mind? Or are they jumping into grown folks' business too fucking fast? Because you want to have fun. But you didn't want to be accountable for the fact that when you got pregnant, a baby was born, and you didn't have to have a baby. A lot of people talk about they don't. What it is just you had a baby without the permission of the man. In some cases, you a hard-headed bitch. I call it like it is. I'm gonna tell you like what it is. You was hard-headed. The man told you he ain't want no kids. You got pregnant. Both of y'all knew that y'all ain't had no condom on, so when you got pregnant, you knew what you had to do, but you didn't. You had a baby against that man's will without his permission. Both of y'all was unaccountable without getting protection, because y'all got horny and didn't want to take the time to put the condom on. That's what it is. That's the real truth. Let's stop acting like somebody is going around here and getting pregnancy and not knowing and can't prevent it. You didn't want to stop once you played stick the tip in.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm gonna ask you a question. What kind of woman do you look for? What do you look for in a woman?
I want to say, listen. It took me a while to figure out. I got some toxicity about myself, right? I don't know if it's good toxic or if it's bad, right? Because I am an awesome provider, right? The woman I look for is she has to be an asset to me. What I mean by that is she has to already have what she got going on, but she has to have some drive. She has to want some things. She has to be able to be cooperative with me in the plan that I build for the guidance for us. So what I tell a woman is, if I'm going and you choose me to be your man, meaning you chose me to guide us and lead us, then you're going to let me guide and lead until I show you otherwise. And then if I show you otherwise, then I'm going to let you take the reins and we're going to coexist. But as long as I'm doing what I got to do, I'm going to stay in my masculinity and drive this bus. That means I provide sustainable things for you. I'm going to provide protection for you, food for you, shelter for you, monetary things for you, and I treat you good. Like, you still get dated, you still get the flowers, you still get the chivalry ain't dead. Now, is it times where I have to build these things, like building my business, where I have to cut back sometime, and you have to be able to be, this is where I need you to have your mindset together. I can't have you with the trauma. I mean, you can't be insecure. You have to have some shit that you got going on. That means you can't want to just be making it. You have to want to be an overachiever. You have to have some fortitude, some drive about yourself. You have to be able to be cooperative, because if I say, hey, I need you to pay all the bills because I make more money than you, or I'm going to pay the bills and I need you to take your whole check and put it all away for at least 6 months, and every 6 months we're going to buy a property. I need you to be able to do that. I don't need you to talk about, well, I can't go to the club on my homegirls. Man ain't asking them. I don't give a fuck about what your homegirls doing. I don't care. I don't play that. I don't want to hear that misogynistic, narcissist bullshit, because more women are narcissists and misogynistic than men are. See, women have justifications and complications and ways for them to get out of things and being held accountable. Society doesn't let men do that. You fucking up too much, your homeboy be like, damn, dog, you got a good girl. Why you tripping and cheating on her? Why you doing that, dog? I like her. You get doing it too much, society be like, you a bum ass motherfucker. You sleeping on the couch. You sleeping, you ain't got no job. Sleeping at your mama's house. Society gonna point it out. Your homies gonna ride your ass. Other people gonna ride your ass. So society don't let men get away with it. But also the other side of the accountability is women have to have some accountability about themselves, what they allow to do, because it's like this. You choose. You have the power to choose the man that you want in your life. So the problem is that your standards and your boundaries ain't where they need to be. Because you moving with your pussy, with your assets. And that comes from the trauma, because you're looking for the value in monetary things and not the value in the humanity in the person. People say a high value man is a man with a lot of money. That's a lie. See, that's why I don't like Kevin Samuels. He had good points. All these people I'm saying, they got good points, but they go about it because they have
the wrong way.
They got to pull numbers. It's a number. That's why I tell people, when somebody's getting something from you and they getting something to get money, it's a service, right? And so with that, numbers come. You got to have so many numbers to hit the spike and have so many likes to hit the spike. So I got to feed into the community and the crowd. But when you working for your purpose for the creator, only thing the creator ever told me, he said, listen, this is what the fuck you got to do, get it done. I'm not here to work for the crowd and please you and please her and do this. I'm going to tell you like what it is, and I'm going to let you sort it out with your emotions on your own time. But you heard what the hell I said, didn't you? You see? So this is the problem that we have when it goes through all the way with accountability. We know that it's only men and women. But because somebody feelings got hurt, and they want to say that they was a bumblebee, well, pull the stinger out their ass and let them die then, goddamn. That's what happened when you fucking bumblebee. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like it gotta add up. Everything is numbers to me, right? This is how I move with everything. If 1 + 1 don't equal 2, then somebody playing something fishy. So you can't call men deadbeats and you ain't never picked up the motherfucking baby, packed their shit, and dropped them off on the baby on the daddy step. And was like, I ain't having you take care of your fucking kid. Huh? Yeah. See, this is why I call. There's a lot of things that we have people talking about, because this is what all the things people say, well, how do we go about getting rid of this hypersexuality, these stupid conversations? First of all, if you want to call them in a deadbeat, if you can't do it, you having problems, pack the kid up instead of running your fat ass mouth about all that shit on social media for everybody to get attention and stuff like that, because you wasn't getting attention when you was opening your legs to him, right? And he was daddy and coming in you, right? Pack the baby up, put the shit in there, knock on his door wherever he at his mama house, at his house, with his new bitch, wherever he at. Here go your baby, nigga. You got me fucked up. Boom. Now, if he say, I don't want the baby, then he a deadbeat. But if he take his baby, he ain't no deadbeat. You just a bitch who want to be lazy and not do your part.
All right. So I got a question for you. What kind of father you think you are?
I am a very strict. I'm a very strict and stern father, as long as you abide by certain rules. And those rules for me are respecting yourself, educating yourself, right? And respecting me. Because I'd be damned if my kids disrespect me. This ain't no Dr. Phil moment. I will fucking take your life. And so, other than that, I give my kids the opportunity to speak freely to me. So long as you ain't cursing at me like you're grown, You can say whatever it is, anything, any options, how you want to speak to me, what's going on, this and that. I don't like this, I don't that. You got the right. I give my kids room to be who they are. I don't allow them to get in business worried about finances because it's not their business. I don't. Only thing I ask you to do is go to school because school is for you. School is for you. It's not going to benefit me if you fail or if you get straight A's. It's going to only benefit you. So go to school, do what you got to do because it's a system we got to play. At the same time, educate yourself on what the fuck system that you in. My kids know education is number one. I got 2 degrees. I'm president's and dean's list all through their system in college, and I got to prove it. I'm ex-military to prove it, so they don't have no excuses. No excuses. You see what I'm saying? You're going to do something with yourself. You're going to be educated with yourself. And you're going to carry yourself in a way that whatever you do, stand on it. And whatever consequences come with it, be accountable for them and take them. It doesn't matter if you was wrong or right. Whatever it is that comes from whatever you do, be willing to accept it. If you're willing to say, I did this, and then the good thing came out, be willing to say, I did this, and the bad thing came out, and accept them both the same way.
That's what's up, man. I know I don't want to cut you off. We can go on.
No, man, I know.
We can go on, man. I'm talking about, man. We all had 2 hours, man, and we still going. And I can go. I can talk to you on and on, man. You know, and I ain't gonna need to hold you for real. But
no, but yeah, I'm gonna let you go, man. I know I appreciate you once again, man. Like I say, man, thank you for having this. Is great, man, for me just being over here to be able to come to your frequency and your favorites. And I hope the creator keep favoring you, man, and you and your people. Just getting the opportunity to come out and talk to the people and get them a piece of me and share a piece of me. If anything, come on my social media, get some nice motivational things, learn some things, you know, and spread some things. Keep humility as your foundation. Spread love through your actions and through your words. Be open to correction, man, and strive to be better and unified as one every day. It's all God's show. It's all the creator show. None of it is ours. It's a blessing to be here. This is why it all need to be ours. Spread love, y'all. That's all I got, man.
Hey, man, I got one more question for you, man.
What up? And I'm single, man. So what they at?
No, I got one question, man. Hey,
no, what up? What up?
Do you have a testimony you can share with us?
Yeah, man. My testimony was learning that the traumas and the things, but it was traumas and good things that I learned, that I've been through, that made me who I am today. And that's, to me, would be a great person, right? And everybody like to think they're a great person. My thing was that the perspective is only as sunny as the rainiest day, right? And so my whole thing is that through everything that I've been through, I was able to look at it like God put me in those things, not because they be like, well, he put you in something that you can handle or whatever like that, but he just put me in that place to give an outlook and be able to observe and be able to just be that person to help people and to look out for people, and that to show me that because of my attitude and how I am, because I'm very stern, right? I'm very big on how I carry myself and how I roll and what I say and things like that. But it showed me that I was really nothing without him. So that those things and how I carry myself really means nothing if the people that around me can't be involved in the love of it. You know what I mean? So going to prison and gangbanging and getting abused and beat on and just everything I've been through, it just showed me like how powerful the creator is and how lucky I am to go through that, to help somebody not to go through that. Me speaking like I speak in the videos that I do for people and teach people gives me an opportunity every day to show that it is a God out there. The creator is out there and he do love you. You know what I mean? He do want you to be better. He do see you going. He do see what you're going through. And even when you think you're going through something, you're really not. You're really not, man. It could be so much worse. It could be so much worse. When you think something is going bad, do something good.
That's right.
Balance it out, man. Balance it out, brother. Life is awesome. Some days are just a little bit more awesome than others. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's it.
That's
So,
it,
man,
brother.
go ahead and tell the watchers and the listeners, man. Tell them your website, man, so they can find you, man.
Oh yeah, man. So y'all can check me on Facebook, AR Bell. You can check me on my Instagram, bellamad.com or bellamad96. You can also catch me soon. I'm gonna be coming out. I'm gonna be offering some business opportunities for the community and this business that I'm building for all you subcontractors for holistic things for food and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have a big seminar on that and get people out there. We're gonna start taking care of the communities, bringing love back out there. We're gonna stop leaving things in the government hands. I'm building a way so that we can provide our own food and things like that, and education on food and things like that, eating healthy so we can fix the obesity problem and the health problem and things like that. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Check me out on my videos, mostly on my Facebook, AR Bell. And man, Monty G, man, brother, man, I wish I could hug you, G. I wish I could hug you.
Likewise, bro. You already know.
I love you, brother, man. I love everybody out there, man. The energy can never stop flowing. Every day, love has got to overcome everything, man. It's always it can be an obstacle against understanding, but comprehension can never be confused. We got to comprehend and reach that point, man.
Man, that's what's up, man. I love you too, bro, man. You stay
Love you,
safe,
man.
bro. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I'm finna get on to these kiddos. I know you're like, Dad, where you at with it? Where you at?
I know, right? I got people knocking on my door on the porch. You know what I mean?
Man, I already know. But, man, I
All right,
appreciate
brother.
you coming on, man. And, man, you enjoy the rest of your night, man. And y'all better go follow him because he be kicking knowledge. I'm talking about we was sitting here. And I ain't had to do too much, man. You made my job easy.
Man. I got something for
You know
y'all,
what I'm
man. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah,
Get to that family, man. Blessings to you, man.
All right, for sure.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Love. All right, peace.
Peace.
Yeah, what's up? This your boy, Monty G, man. And we just kicked it off with your boy, AR Bell. So, you know, you better, if y'all missed it, man, rewind it back. I know it's a long podcast, but we was going in. He was going in. So go ahead and check it out. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that. Oh, man, you can't leave no comment. But if you do, we won't respond. But please leave a comment. It's your boy, Monty G. And I'm out. Peace. Oh, no, matter of fact. Oh, he already gone. All right, y'all. This your boy, Monty G, man. I'm out. I don't know what to do right now. Because I'm just blown away. So, yeah, check out the video, y'all. I'm out. Peace. Enjoy the night.
We on the mission. Family on the mission. We on the mission. Family on the mission. We on the mission. Family on the mission. We on the mission. Family on the mission.